Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're now going to move on to our next section, which is authorizations in our Discord channel. This video, I think, is probably the most valuable of the videos that we've created so far. How can we manage classrooms that we want to stream? So what we've done is we've created sections, or as we call it here, categories for class 10. So this is grade 10s. They've got their chat channel over there for grade 10s only. And then I've got 4 classes, which is the 10A, B, C, and D groups that I'm presenting class to in teaching IT as a teacher. And then I've got my class 9s. And of course, this is just a structure, an example structure. You can create your own structure, which is similar. Grade 8s, which is similar. I've got my breakout rooms, which I'll make available to anyone, but they can't join unless I move them there. So if I want the kids to go into a breakout session, I can have teacher assistants, myself, and maybe some of my students, elected students who have elevated authorizations, maybe from the student body or prefects or class leaders to move these into various different breakout sessions, the kids. And then I've got the general chat voice channel, which all my students, 8, 9, and 10 can join, and instructors. And I've got a general text channel as well. So if you haven't created this yet, pause the video and create these so that you can catch up. So let's start from here. We need roles and authorizations. So before I do that, there's one thing that we need to do. A lot of the user settings won't be available for you to view because streamer mode is enabled. So if I click user settings, you can see over here billing, connections, privacy and safety shows something, authorized apps, my account. Nothing shows any settings because streamer mode's enabled to protect sensitive information in case I connect to a channel and I go live and I start streaming. So how can I get rid of that setting for me to show you the settings? Well, I can click on streamer mode enabled, and here where it says enable streamer mode, untick it. And now because I've done that, let's go back into user settings. Now we can see my account, my privacy, authorized apps, connections, billing, everything is now shown over here. So before we continue further, there's one section called Discord Nitro. So I would recommend that if you like what you see, I know it's more for gaming, but if this tool is useful and you start seeing a lot of value out of it, pay some respect to the people that developed it and maybe subscribe if you can. But let's move on. So under Tiny Instruct Teach, this is my channel name. So I need to select my channel on the left hand side, see everything in here. I can click the drop down box and I can go to server settings. From there, a couple of things that we can first do is let's maybe give our channel a picture. Let's do some general settings as well. Documents, no pictures. There's my teacher's picture. There we go. We can even zoom in if we want to get a nice close-up of that beautiful teeth over there. Say apply. So that's the channel picture now. Currently we don't have an AFK channel. An AFK channel is a very good channel to have. We'll create one just now. And it also says send a random welcome message when someone joins the server. For an education server, it might not be the best idea. However, the first time someone joins, you can at least see that they have joined. And then send a message when someone boosts the server. So you can, if you want to, untick these. However, I would at least send a random welcome message. I would keep that one up. It's quite useful. I'll show you just now. And then they say this will determine where the members who are not explicitly set their notification settings receive a notification for every message sent in the server or not. So if there's a lot of people in your channel, then I would unselect this. But if there's not too many people, you can keep it on all. For now, we're going to keep it on all because it's not going to bother us too much. We're here to learn, and if the students don't listen, we can tell them, please stop typing. So I'm going to say save these settings for now. And let's create an AFK channel before we continue. So under my voice channels, I'm going to say add a new voice channel. I'm going to call it AFK channel. This means away from keyboard. So if someone is away from their keyboard, if they're not doing anything on their computer for too long, it will kick them out of a certain channel. So you can decide if you want it or not. It could be useful. Let's say your period that you need to present something is only 30 minutes long. Then at most, if you've got two after each other, it would be an hour. So someone connecting to a class, you're expecting them to be in there for an hour and at least do something on their computer while they listen to you in the other, while you're streaming and they're doing some tasks on their own. So to make sure everyone's paying attention, creating an AFK channel is not too bad. If it kicks someone out, then you know they were not paying attention. So let's go to server settings again. And we're going to select, it will be at the bottom now, so I have to scroll all the way down, an AFK channel. 5 minutes is too short. We can maybe make it an hour or 30 minutes. And if someone is away from the keyboard for longer than this from any channel, it would move them into the AFK channel. And we can then say save changes. Now, for that AFK channel, we want to change certain things. We want to look at the permissions. So this one would be the first permissions that we're going to set. First of all, bitrate. Let's move that down to 24 kilobits per second again. Save that. And then for permissions, currently we only have one role, but we're going to create new roles just now. We only have the everyone role. So we're going to say anyone in this can't create invites. They can't manage the channel, manage permissions, or webhooks. Normally, it's only administrators for the stop file that can do anything there. We can say that anyone can view this. They can't connect on their own. And if you want them to be able to speak or not, that's your decision in the AFK channel. I'm going to say if you're in the AFK channel, you should be able to speak because you should be able to say, what have you done wrong? I don't want anyone to stream in there. There's no reason that we want to stream in there. Do we want to be able to mute other members? No. Deafen members? No. Move members? No. Use voice activity? Yes. Priority speaker for the everyone role? No. So this is a general setting for anyone that enters this channel. So while we're here, let's go through some of these. The view channel means anyone can view it. The connect means if it's set to yes, then anyone can connect automatically to that channel. So let me press save here and show you. If I click AFK, I can connect to that channel. And it says, it means you've gone AFK on us. We've went ahead and moved you to the AFK channel. That's just a welcome message because I joined the AFK channel. So I could enter the AFK channel. Currently, I'm muted. I can right click and unmute myself over there. So the AFK channel mutes you by default. So let's have a look at these settings further. We've set over here, no one can just connect. They should be able to speak. Video, no. Mute members. Currently, and deafen members. That means can I mute or deafen other members? No. If I have the everyone role, definitely not. Can I move members if I've got the everyone role? No. So move them between channels. Like I want to move you from class 8A to the breakout session. That role will give to another role, or that authorization will give to another role. Use voice activity, yes, and priority speaker means that your voice is elevated higher than other people's voices, like an instructor when you are teaching. So we're not going to change any of those permissions. Let's just say disconnect and get out of the AFK channel. Because we've set certain authorizations on the AFK channel, you can see that the icon has changed. It's got some permissions. So let's go ahead, take the breakout room away for now, and let's create class 8. We're going to give the kid zone and class 8A some authorizations. So for that, we need roles. So let's go ahead and say server settings. Move down to roles, and we're going to click the plus button over there, and it gives us a new role. So we're going to call this class 8A. I'll start at the top left for a color. So I'm going to use these 4 colors for class 8A. I'm going to use these 4 colors for the class 9s or grade 9s, and these 4 colors for the grade 10s. The reason I use these colors is the 4 colors are most closely together in my mind. I'm not too good on colors, but let's say in my mind, they're closely together. So I've got a class 8A, and currently if you look at it, the settings that we have is similar to the everyone role. If I scroll down and I change it, they're all similar to the everyone role. So maybe we should look at the everyone role first. Do we want to change anything here? We don't want everyone to be an administrator. We don't want everyone to view audit logs, manage the server. Any manage role is not given to everyone. Simple as that. Do we want anyone to be able to kick, ban members? No. Do we want anyone to create an invite? Definitely no. Do we want members to change their own nicknames? Yes, they can. Unless they start abusing it, then we can change it, and then elevated authorization can have managed nicknames, and you as teacher can put the proper names in, and they can't change it. But for now, they can change it. Manage emojis, webhooks, no, this is not for games, it's for learning, so we're going to take that out. If you want to keep it in there, you're a fun type of teacher, be my guest and do so. And if you don't like it anymore, take it away. Do we want them to read text channels and see voice channels? Yes, they'll only see the channels that they are allowed to see, but yes. Send messages, yes. Send messages that when we type it, the machine reads it out? Definitely no. It can become very annoying. You can have it, but not everyone will. Manage messages, we're going to keep that as no. Embedded links, can they use embedded links, attach files, and read message history? I think this is something that in the chat channels that you need. Do we want anyone to send a message to anyone with a specific role, like at teachers or at student body or at class 8A? That's up to you. I like to keep it on. And if people start abusing it, then we can take it away. Do we want them to use external emojis? I'm going to take it out. Add reactions, I'm going to take out because it can be distractive in the learning space. Voice permissions, they should be able to connect, speak, and use video. I'm fine with that. They cannot mute other members, deafen other members, or move other members out of the channels. That's an elevated authorization. Like teachers and student bodies should be able to do that. Use voice activity. Members must use push to talk. We're going to keep that on. And priority speaker is only for the teachers. So at everyone, class 8A, they're not going to have this. So let's press save changes. Now, if I go to class 8A, at the very bottom, you can see that we can delete the 8A role, but we cannot delete the at everyone role. If we delete that, we can't do anything on the server. So best not delete it. Rather take authorizations away from it, but don't delete it. So obviously we can't, so that's good news. So let's move up on the 8A role. No administration permissions. Create invites. Depends on you. I'm going to say no. Change their own nickname, that's fine. Read text and see voice channels, yes. Send messages, no. Embed links, attach files, all of this is fine. Use external emojis, no. Add reactions, no. Connect, speak, video, all of this is fine. We don't want to mute other members. Use voice activity so they can talk when we want to hear them, that's fine. And we say save changes. We've now officially got our first role. So let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and create the other roles. Let's go back to server settings rather. Roles again. And we'll say plus over there. The next role is going to be class 8B. I'm going to assign the next color to it. And let's scroll down. All the roles, everything seems the same. Yeah, so it kept the same as the last role that was highlighted, which was 8A. So I'm quite happy with these settings. I'm going to say save. And a good way to check, I'll scroll all the way to the bottom, sorry, struggling there, tongue twister for me. 8B, and I click 8A, it looks the same. Scroll up a bit, click between them, they look the same. Click between them, they look the same. Click between them, they look the same. So it's a good way to check that they are the same. Of course, at the top we can see the color and the settings changing. So the one that you've got highlighted, if you highlight it and you click add a new role, by default, it's got the same settings as the previous role. Ooh, not 8C. What am I doing? There we go. So I don't need to check it. I can just save it. Add a new role. Class 8D. Next color. So there I've created all my class 8 roles. What I don't have is teachers. So let's say teacher role. I'm going to make this one blue. Blue normally showcases for me like a diamond. It's at the very top of the peak is a teacher or administrator. We'll have to change this one's authorizations. And what we also don't have is student body. And we'll make this one purple, which also shows elevation, at least for me. You can decide on the colors. Some people like the highest elevation to showcase, well, that doesn't look red, but close to red. You can also create your own custom colors, by the way. If you click this little button over here, you can go over the whole of the color spectrum and select any custom color that you want to. In any case, student body, we're going to make that purple. So if you run out of colors, too many channels, no problem. Custom color it. All right, so let's start with teachers. What do we want to give them? First of all, one thing that I didn't do for any of the roles, and this is a huge oversight, is if I go to class 8A, I want to display these role members separately. And this is very cool because on the right-hand side of the screen, your users would move between different sections if we tick this button for their roles. So I'm going to say display role members separately from online members, yes, and allow anyone to mention this role, also fine. Let's do the same for B. I want to do it for all my roles. C, D, teacher, and student body. There we go. So for the teacher role, let's start with permissions. Administrator, so it says members with this permission have every permission and also bypass channel specific permissions. We're not going to grant that to a teacher. Only myself as the administrator of this channel will have that, the channel owner. So I'm by no means obligated to give that to any teacher that I add to my channel. View the audit log, that's okay. Manage the server so they can change the name and move regions. Please no, I'm not going to select that. Manage roles, that's up to you. If you want your teachers, if you think they understand the channel well, if you want to make them an administrator or maybe create for an IT guy their own secondary administrator role, then you can give them administrative privileges. Right now, I'm not going to do it. They're not going to manage role. Manage channels, so members with this permission can create new channels, edit or delete existing ones. Once again, up to you. I'm not going to select it for the teacher. One thing that's important is they should be able to create an invite, kick members out of channels. Yes, if someone is misbehaving or unruly and I don't just want to leave them, don't just want to mute them, I can kick them. Ban members, I would say up to you. I would rather leave that for the channel owner. But yeah, we can put it in there, I guess. Manage nicknames, yes. Manage emojis as a teacher, why not? Webhooks, I don't see why not. Same as the other, can send messages. Send system generated messages is a cool thing, yes. Manage messages, so they can delete messages that might be inappropriate that someone else has created. But we're also going to have look at the moderation settings later. But yeah, they can manage messages, embed links, attach files, all of this is fine. Use external emojis. For teachers, I don't have a problem adding any of those in. Mute members, yes. Deafen members, yes. And move members. In fact, these authorizations I'm going to give to the student body as well. If I want to move certain members into a breakout session, I definitely need this authorization. If I want the student body to mute a specific member, I want that as well. Come to think of it, deafening members does not make sense for the purpose of this channel. The purpose is learning, and we don't want to deafen anyone. We might want to stop them from talking if they're disruptive, but not deafen any members so that they can't hear what we're saying. It defies the purpose. Use voice activity, that's fine. A teacher gets priority speaker so that their voice is elevated and it tones down the other people's voice so they're not as distracting when the teacher speaks. So definitely yes. Save changes. So let's go on to student body. Not a priority speaker, so let's start from the top to the bottom, it's maybe better. Not an administrator, none of these. Kick members, no. Ban, no. Create an invite, up to you. If you entrust them with it, let's say they're very trustworthy, so yes. Manage nicknames, no. Emojis, webhooks, no. Send TSS messages, no. Manage messages, yes. We want them to be able to delete inappropriate messages potentially. Once again, up to you. Use external emojis, reactions, no. We don't want them to play, they're still kids. Mute members, yes. Move members, yes. So they should be able to also mute and move members like we said. So I've got my first set of roles set up. You can replicate the 8A, 8B, 8C, and 8D roles to 9A to D and 10A to D if you want to follow the whole session. I'll do it after this video to save some time. So let's finish class 8's authorizations here. So for class 8A, if I go to edit channel, I've already set the bitrate down, that's good. We go to permissions, and we now need to set certain permissions in here. So at everyone, I like to explicitly set permissions for every channel. So everyone role in all my channels are going to get these. You can read through them later. But they should at least be able to connect to a channel. No, let's say no. They shouldn't be able to connect to this channel. They should be able to view the channel. No. Speak in the channel, yes. And not display video, not mute, not deafen, not move. Voice activity is not priority. So technically, let's say, yeah, they can, I think we'll keep it to this. They can speak, But they can't connect. They'll have to be moved in or have an elevated role to move in for now. So let's say save these changes. Add some roles. We want to add 8A in. So this is now the channel. Let's just go back here. We're editing class 8A. So for class 8A, they should of course be in here. They can't manage the channel. They should be able to view, connect, speak, not give video. That's only the teacher. Mute members, deafen, move members, definitely not. Use voice activity, yes, and not a priority speaker. So these settings set for 8A. You can just go through it and maybe pause where you want to. Next one would be B and C and D are not getting permissions for 8A. The student body. First permissions they can't get either. So I just plainly make them red. View the channel, yes. Connect, yes. Speak, yes. They don't give video. They should be able to mute members, not deafen, and they should be able to move members. Use voice activity, and they're not a priority speaker. Save changes. Let's move on to teacher. Our teacher's role, they can create invites. Manage the channel, no. Manage permissions, no. Webhooks, no. So you can decide whether you want your teachers to create invites or not. I think it's a good idea. View the channel, yes. Connect, yes. Speak, yes. Video, definitely, yes. Mute members, yes. Deafen, no. Doesn't make sense for teaching. Move members, yes. Use voice activity, yes. And priority speaker in this channel, definitely yes. So now that I've created some permissions, only people of class 8A would be able to connect to this. And of course, anyone in my 8 group that's part of the student body. Until they abuse their power, then we just take the role away. On the right-hand side, there's my instructor. I can now right-click on it and say, who is my instructor? My instructor over there, or this tiny instructor, is a teacher. And you can see immediately it changes the color to blue and it moves it to teacher 1. If I go right-click on it and I say it's not a teacher anymore, but it's part of the student body, it's now on the student body 1 and it's the purple color. So every member of my channel, once I start inviting them, depending on the role that they have, some of them might have multiple roles, but then also depending on the hierarchy of the role that they have, they would have certain authorizations. So what do I mean with the hierarchy? If I go back to server settings and I go to roles, then according to this hierarchy, so our hierarchy is wrong. Teachers is the highest hierarchy. Student body is the second hierarchy. Then these classes don't matter because they're exactly the same. It's just so that we can assign them to different channels. And everyone's definitely at the bottom. So now my hierarchy is correct. And it will display, I need to say save changes. And it will display members according to my roles with their highest elevated role according to the hierarchy. So if I right click on here and I go roles, and this one's now got all these roles, you can see it stays blue because blue is the highest hierarchy. Not it needs the other roles, only that one role is required. So these type of roles we can assign to all of these channels. You've seen how to do it. And in the next video, we're now going to invite some students to our channel. And after we've invited the students to these channels, we'll be able to showcase how we can move them around, use these authorizations, and how from their perspective, they can only see certain things. So thank you and see you in the next video.